Right then, so Paul and Dan managed to get engine in last night. Started mocking up some at pipework, some at radiator pipes. We've gone a little bit different on thermostat on this one. We've just drilled a little hole in it, and we're not going to have an hot circuit on this. We're going to just have water pump just pumping all the way through engine. If it don't quite work how I want it to, then we're going to have to weld on some fittings and make it have an hot circuit, but we'll see what happens with that one. So this boost pipe kit's going to be an off-the-shelf one. The tip pipe, it's going to be a modified version of an off-the-shelf one, so we'll look at that when it's done and dusted. Still going to use standard airbox, just get some more duct into it, but all that when we come to it. The main reason it's over here now, Dan's just making downpipe, which we'll cut to later. We're hoping that's going to be same as one off the shelf, but it's not quite worked out. But the other interesting thing that we're going to do, it's going to have one of these silencers, maybe I think it's a little bit bigger than the one that's going in the middle. But then what we're doing with this and this race DPF, we're also going to have a pipe on some V-bands. So all these are going to be on V-bands. So basically what we can do, we can swap between, on track days when it's got to be quiet, we can put a silencer in. Racing, or when we want to make it look fancy, we'll have this DPF hanging out at back. And then if we want it to just be noisy, we'll just have a straight pipe with a tip on it that comes out the middle that we can just stick on. So that's the plan. We'll see how it works out. These little things here, these are 316 stainless as well, like everything else that's here. These are what you weld on, that go onto these hangers here like this. So they shove into there, which is a bit hard to get in, so I don't know if I'll even get it in. We need to really pry it in. But these are Powerflex rubber hangers. We've cut this one in half, one of the universal ones to go in here. But they go in there and stop the exhaust falling out, so there'll be one there, and then there's another two hangers, which they're here. Another two of these hangers. They're going to be going at the back here somewhere. We're going to weld, probably might end up with one here or one here, whatever, but they might end up both being at the back here. So we've got support there, and then the downpipe goes on the support at the front. So all of this stuff is made with these 316 stainless dairy bends. That's a 45. Trying not to, I think there's just, the only 90 this has got is straight off the turbo, and then everything else is going to be cut 45, so there's not going to be that many bends. There might, all the way to here, it's going to be straight to about, I think about here, and then it's going to have to just kink down just a little bit, and it might kink back up a little bit, so there might be sort of 45 or so used to kink it here. We need to just get the rear bumper on. But this is Dan's last day before he goes on holiday, so we might not get all this finished beforehand, but we're pretty busy next week anyway, so it's not really a big deal. There might just be a week of inactivity on this job, maybe just doing some little bits of tidying up jobs anyway, but we'll see what happens. So I think that's it for the exhaust, and it's just the cooling side of things that we need to talk about. We're going all over. So we've had the radiator and the intercooler out before, so it's just a normal S3 cooler, just because they're a bit lighter. And it's one of our aluminium radiators, which at this side it's all going to remain standard. It's going to clip on there, no messing. But this fan setup, we've got this from Steph at SRS. This is actually a Mark IV Golf PD 150. I think the V6 4 motions and stuff like that, stuff with the big engines and the big radiators, they're the ones that have this setup. So it's twin fans, but they're really slimline. They look very similar to the Mark 5, Mark 6 fans, but they work totally differently. They're not PWM controlled, or not at least the two-stage rather than variable, which means we can use the electric water pump controller just to go straight into these and just turn them on or off, rather than having to have a full controller that does whatever it wants. We've got 100% control of it. The only problem is we're going to have to weld some little bosses on here just to get these to fit, but it's pretty simple to do, not a big job. So we'll get them on. And then the outlet on this, we're potentially going to have to modify to go up to the water pump. We might be able to get the factory clip and a bit of pipe, and I'm not too sure, but we still need to have a fitting going into here for the header tank because we've not got the hot circuit on this. We've got rid of all the little pipe that runs all the way around the engine and goes to your heater matrix because we've got an heated windscreen for this. So there's no need to have an heater matrix in the car at all. So the cooling system on this is going to be pretty simple really. Just electric water pump, radiator, engine. So this is all in the Mark 6 radiator carrier and slam panel. So all this stuff's pretty much standard. So if we ever have a crash, we'll just need a Mark 6 front, bolt all these together. We'll have a spare radiator already modified and stuff like that. So the idea is it's quite an easy repair job, rather than everything being custom. Like on the Ibiza, we had a lot of chopped and welded and bent bracketry and stuff. We're hoping to stay away from that on this car if we can. So I think that's probably it for this. All the spec list, everything that we're fitting throughout this build is in the description. So read that and all the answers should be there. Any questions, bang them below.